Hi, this is Vicki with My Paper Connection. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the United States, and I'm going to show you today how to make this gorgeous card. This card I made using Petal Pink, Flirty Flamingo, and Fine Art Gallery Designer Series paper. And the flower was cut out of the Designer Series paper, and then I cut a piece of Old Olive using a die cut from the Hydrangea Haven. Today I'm going to go a little bit differently. I'm going to use in the yellow family. I'm going to make my card using So Saffron. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, to make this card, I'm going to be using the Gilded Leafing in two different ways. I'm going to start out using tear and tape, and I'm going to do 3 lines. I'm going to start, let me tear that off, that looks a little yucky. Okay. So I'm going to do the first one, the one in the middle first, and it's going to be the longest, almost all the way to the other side. Then I'm going to come in at the top, make it a little bit shorter, and then I'll do another one right in here. And you know what, my spacing is not even, and one of them is even a little crooked. Let me see if I can fix that. I don't think it's going to come up. It's okay. It's going to be all right. I am trying to break myself of perfectionism, and it's a hard thing to do, but I'm going to exhibit self-control and show you that you don't have to be perfect, even though I try to be. How many of you guys are like that as well? Okay. Now you don't want to put bumps or holes or anything like that in your tape, because if there's anything like that, then your Gilded Leafing will not stick. Okay, this is just a piece of scrap, So Saffron. So what I'm going to do is I'm bringing in my Gilded Leafing that I've already put. It expands, so I put a lot of it right here. You don't want to sneeze or have a fan going overhead or anything like that, because this stuff will go everywhere. And if I had this in a rectangular bin, which I probably should do, you can actually just lay it down inside of it and it will all stick. That's a lot, and I'm not going to use nearly all of it, but I'm just putting it across my project, and then I'll just pour off or take off what I don't end up using. Now, I like to use an embossing buddy because this really likes to stick to your fingers. And so I just use an embossing buddy for my fingers so that it comes off. I'm just going to give it a little bit of a rub. I'm actually going to use my brush, my paint brush. And just get this off like this. I'm going to get the majority of the big pieces off first. Then I'm going to take it and rub it. And it just kind of seals it down even more and makes it a little bit more shiny. Okay. Just clean it up one more time. Okay, that you can, if you don't have an embossing buddy, which Stampin' Up! Does not sell anymore, you can use a dryer sheet. I don't happen to use dryer sheets. I use wool balls in my dryer, so I don't even have any. So I just use my embossing buddy. All right, I'm going to go ahead and glue this on. This is some of the prettiest paper. It's very abstract with the, I guess that's what you call it. I don't know, impressionistic maybe. Maybe that's what it's called. I don't know. It's very pretty though. Very pretty paper. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and do some stamping. So I'm going to stamp my leaf with Pear Pizzazz. going to stamp my first image of the flower in Daffodil Delight. I wanted it to be a little bit darker than the paper. And then I'm going to take Mango Melody. This is a two-step stamp process for this particular flower. I'm just going to go in with Mango Melody into the center like that. Okay. Okay, I've cleaned my stamp, and now I'm going to come in with Versamark with that second step, and I'm just going to come right on top here like this. And I'm going to bring in the heat and stick powder. Put my little spare piece under there. I'm just going to pour it all over the top of it. This is different than embossing powder. It's got kind of a funky smell. Okay, so now I'm bringing in my heat gun, and I'm going to preheat it just a second. And it's not going to take but just a few seconds for this to be done, and then we will put the gilded leafing on top of it. You don't want to do it until it's hard. You want to do it until it's just not, it doesn't look like powder anymore. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So about 5 seconds did it. I'll bring in my little scrap. Put the gilded leafing all over the top of it. Just kind of mash it down. I'm going to use my embossing buddy so it doesn't stick everywhere to my fingers. Get the majority of the big stuff off. And then I'm just going to brush away the largest pieces. Look how pretty that is. Isn't that so pretty? Love it. I love the accent of the gold on there. Very pretty. Okay, I'm going to do one more stamp, and that is for my sentiment. I'm going to stamp using my Daffodil Delight. Just say thank you. Okay, I'm back. I cut everything out off camera. And I'm just going to put it all together. So I'm using a thick basic white card base. And just going to glue my So Saffron card front down to the front of my card. I love these colors, they're so soft. Okay. And then I'm going to use dimensionals to pop everything up. You can see I used a piece of scrap paper here. Use your scraps, people. Don't let them go to waste. Flip them over. Our paper is double-sided. Okay, so we're going to put it all in place now. And this I think I'm going to put down here because there it kind of, when I pushed or used my take your pick tool to lift it up, it did not end up adhering to that very well. That's perfect like that. And since I have gold going on here, that seems to be the theme for this card. I'm just going to go ahead and accent it with some gold. the last thing I'm going to do is to tie a knot. And this is the fine art ribbon, and just a little word of instruction. Do not pull by the end because it is a woven ribbon. And then just pull from one side, like I always try to pull with the left hand. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put a glue dot on the back of it. I'm going to actually put more than one. I want to put it on the little tails there. Because I want it to stick in place. Okay, then because it's sticking in place really nicely, it'll be really easy to just trim it right off like that. Okay, and then you don't have any fraying. Super, super easy. Isn't that pretty? Which one do you like the best? I'm not sure. I think they're both beautiful. So anyway, thank you so much for joining me. I hope you liked this video. If you did, hit subscribe and ring the bell, and then you'll get noticed whenever I have future videos. I go live on Fridays typically. I won't be going live on the 12th, I think it is, but I will on the 19th. So be sure that you come find me on YouTube, and I hope you have a great day. Bye.